finally got Lyndsey Redstone, the private office advisor. Have you ever watched our podcasts?
Honestly.
Tell the truth.
The Burj Khalifa apparently is not an effective navigation point.
No, that's how you get around. Follow the Burj and you'll get to downtown. You've got a massive name in the market. What is the secret you can pass on to somebody?
I think that client expectations here now are very high and they want someone who really knows what they're talking about.
You can't outsmart somebody that's worth 100 million or £1 billion because they got there for a reason. What's your best project right now you like?
They've got 3 villas left out of the 24 and they have not had an ounce of advertising.
Oh, wow. Me and you have quite contrasting ways of working, and that clash sort of works because you like fully off market.
There's 2 sides to that coin, because if I was spending 400 million, which I don't have to spend, I wouldn't want to buy a house that everyone has seen the inside.
So we do 2,000 viewings a week at the moment. 2,000 viewings.
I don't think I do that in a year.
No, you don't need to. Have you made more money in being a real estate agent or buying property? On today's episode of Taking Care of Business, we are here to talk about agent success stories, and I finally got Lyndsey Redstone, the private office advisor for the private office for Allsop and also into the office. First of all, thank you for gifting me your presents today.
You're very welcome, Lou. Getting me on camera.
I know, yeah. She was like, oh my God, this is going to be on camera today. I was like, yeah, it's not just on audio. Have you ever watched our podcasts?
Honestly.
Tell the truth.
No.
It's mad how many people don't watch it, by the way, that work for us.
But do you know who does watch it?
Go on.
My husband.
Does he really?
Yes.
Yeah, do you know what? If I'm honest with you, I'm not much of a podcaster, so I don't like what Cal loves podcasts. My attention span is terrible. So like I like 30-second like reels. Like I work while I'm reels. But I get stopped a lot for people thinking I'm a podcaster. So I go on a plane and people are like, I watched your podcast. I'm not a podcaster, mate. I'm not a podcaster. So we call this version of the podcast Agent Success Stories. And the reason we call it Agent Success Stories is as people, if you're selling your home, buying a home, or if you're an agent in Dubai, we like to look at people that have been uber successful in the market. And I think you have got an incredible story that I think I'd like to share, and then just talk a little bit about the private office as well.
Okay.
So, interesting fact, not people know you were working with Allsop and Allsop in 2010.
Yeah, when I didn't know any place or way to get around Dubai.
You knew the Springs, didn't you? You were the queen of Springs.
Did do Springs rentals.
You did.
I remember my first viewing, the client actually having to direct me because there was no Google Maps or anything.
Getting the old maps out.
I got so lost because the Burj Khalifa apparently is not an effective navigation point in
No,
Dubai.
that's how you get around. Follow the Burj and you'll get to downtown.
Yeah.
Do you know what the actual rule is, I remember? To get to downtown, you go Sharjah, and to get to Marina, you go to Abu Dhabi. That's the roads that you follow.
Yeah, but when you're using the Burj Khalifa to navigate and you can see it from space, it's not very helpful.
So 2010, you joined Allsop and Allsop from Foxtons in London.
No, I was working at a different company before I joined. It
Oh,
was a
really?
small boutique. I had been at Foxtons before, but a small boutique in Notting Hill.
Estate agency again, yeah?
Agency again, yeah.
Made the move to Dubai, got into lettings.
Yeah.
What was your reason why? Because a lot of people have a reason why they just go, fuck it, I'm off to Dubai. What was yours?
So I started a new job, which I really didn't like, and bumped into someone who was actually working for you in London over Christmas, who I'd used to work with.
Can we say who it was?
Lucy Martin.
Oh, wow, Lucy. I remember Lucy. She was the marina expert in 2010.
And I bumped into her and she was like, oh, why don't you come out to Dubai?
Yeah.
And I was like, not really thought about it before. I'd been once on holiday. Liked it, but never really thought about it. And she suggested having a call. I think I had probably about a 10-minute chat with Carl.
That's how it goes down. Are you good when we first started? Because you had no video call back in 2010.
No.
Skype and FaceTime. So basically, when we were interviewing people, it was like, hello, are you good at real estate? And like, would you like to try Dubai? And then we'd basically hire you in 2010.
Yeah, no, it was a very quick interview. Yeah. And then someone in my building asked if I'd consider renting my apartment. And I kind of thought, if they take it, I'll go. If they don't take it, I won't. They took it. They wanted to move in a week later. And I was here 3 weeks later in the beautiful villa in Al Wasl.
Oh, wow. So our first office, for anyone listening to this, was Al Wasl Road. And I remember putting every penny I had into starting the company. And if you remember correctly, it was a 5-bedroom. You had the dining room, which was the boardroom at the back. And the living room was the reception, and you went upstairs, and then you had 4 bedrooms, which I made out of sales floors. So I put...
And it came with pets.
Cockroaches. Yes, it did. And people don't see that version because people see Allsup and Allsup today, and they see the Google, Apple Office, and even when you come in here, you're like, well, this is not the Allsup that I know. Yeah. And it's such a different environment compared to where we started. But they were our humble beginnings. And interestingly, I drove past that villa about a month ago. Do you know what it is now? It's a massage parlour. Absolutely mental. I would love to go in there, but I daren't go in there and just see what it looked like.
I'd love, would be very happy.
Yeah, I don't think my wife would be happy if I turned up going to there. Okay, so you've gone from being a lettings agent. You obviously worked for us quite a few years, and then you took off into sales in a different...
No, I moved into management, actually. I was leasing director.
Yeah.
I thought it would be nice to have a stable salary, and I would earn more money as a...
And how did that go?
I didn't earn more money. I wish I'd stayed in brokerage. And I really didn't like being a manager, actually.
I don't think a lot of people, like people in the UK, I think they want to be a manager at the start, don't they? They go, I've got this vision of being a manager. When you're in Dubai, I don't see the point in being a manager when your output of revenue can be so much more being a good fee earner.
And I think, actually, like... it's a very different skill set being a manager as to being a broker. And like being a broker, you're more out and about, more of a people person and meeting and dealing with new people. And I really did not enjoy being a manager. But I did do it for about five years at 2 companies, moving over to a head of residential for sales and leasing, so looking after both.
Do you think that stunted your personal growth in that 5 years?
I actually think it might have made me a better broker now because I've seen both sides, and I'm a control freak. I don't like passing across any of my admin to conveyancing or anything like that.
You don't do admin, mate?
No, I do. I do my own contracts.
That's not admin. When you're doing the sale contract, that's different to admin.
But I do the NOC application.
Oh, wow.
Everything myself. So I think it made me a better agent.
Yeah.
Financially, yes, I think it cost me a lot of money going into management for those 5 years.
I see a lot of people that have done that. So there's a couple of lads that I know, like Dubai has this thing at the moment where people are coming back from London or around the world. So 2 people, one of them just flew back from Canada that was with us in 2010. Do you remember Adnan? The Jumeirah Islands?
Yes, I do.
So he just flew back from Canada and he's working here from last week.
Oh, okay.
He was like, I'm coming back. Dubai's the place to be. There's another guy from London. I can't mention his name because he doesn't work here. I don't want to call the guy out, but he's gone on to be a manager for another real estate company from the UK. And I was thinking to myself, wow, like if I wasn't Lewis Allsup running this business, I'd never accept a job being a manager in today's market. I'd monetize the hell out of Dubai.
But the market was very, very different back in 2010.
Yeah.
It was, if someone did 50 or 60,000 in a month, that was classed as a good month commission-wise. So it wasn't the same potential for earning.
Why is that? Well, I mean, someone said this before. They were talking about Allsup and they were saying, obviously, naturally, we're going to get better along the way. But do you think a lot plays with the prices, the market? Why is it that, let's say, 1 million dirhams, when we worked together in 2007, you were a hero, really, wasn't you, in a year?
Yeah.
If you do 1 million dirhams in a month here, some people don't bat an eyelid at it in our company, which blows my mind.
It blows my mind too, and I think it's quite funny how some people now expect it to be the norm in terms of the values that people are earning, because it is ridiculous amounts of money that people can earn in real estate. Obviously, the values have gone up considerably. Yeah. Like a Springs villa back then, I think it was about
1.8.
1.2 for a 2-bed.
Yeah.
Whereas now a 2-bed's close to 3 million, maybe even touching on.
So if the thing is with property values, if the property value doubles, you also double your commission.
Doing the same job. So you'll end up making a lot more money.
Correct.
By selling or renting exactly the same as you were before. Whereas then, when I was doing rentals, I think a 2-bed was about 70,000 dirham. So the fee was 3,500 dirham.
And the petrol included. But Dubai was probably cheaper as well. Let's say how it is for you as well, because we would probably go into Spinneys. Like Spinneys would be going to a petrol station.
There was Park and Shop just by the office, wasn't there?
There was. So I think life is different. I mean, I'm looking at the leaderboard now. If you are number 51 in our company today, you're on 158,000 for the month. Number 51 in sales. Like, if you are in the top 3, you're over 7 digits in a month.
But even if you go back to pre-COVID, so just 5 years ago, if an agent did 1 million in a year, that was classed as a good year. If people were billing 300,000 a month, it was classed as an exceptional month. So I think that people have the expectations and the market has really, really changed. One of my clients said to me the other day, he's like, a lot of agents now think that they're actually celebrities and they're more important than the clients because they're earning more money.
Is that aimed at me?
Not aimed
You telling that? I don't think that.
Not aimed at you.
You're like, yeah, Lewis does. He's got his own podcast now.
But they're earning more money than half the clients that they're taking out, which is ridiculous. But I think it's important to also like level expectations in terms of it's not an easy job. It is like a 24/7
You've got
24/7
siblings,
job.
yeah?
I've got
Sarah,
a sister.
isn't it?
Yeah. Good memory.
Everything. Would you not advise your sister to get into real estate?
She's an accountant,
Okay.
and she's quite senior in her role, actually. She's just become director.
Go on, Sarah.
And she's working up to be a partner. When she gets to equity partner, then her salary would be around £500,000 to £750,000 a year.
Wow.
So she's on track to be having a amazing
Career.
Yeah.
Would you advise it if you had another sister that was 25, 24?
Yeah, maybe. But Sarah actually did come out for 3 months and she did interview with House and House.
Oh, wow. Shout out to the boys at House and House. She didn't go there?
She didn't go there.
Why not?
She wanted to stay as being an accountant instead. So she just didn't think it was for her. She does ask me for a job occasionally. Okay. And then says no afterwards. So.
Yeah. Well, it's very difficult to leave that type of money. See, I've got my little brother just started. He's 24. He's done 3 years in university. And I'm pressing him saying, mate, if you want to change your life, come out here, get in real estate and get stuck in. And he's been here for 3 weeks now. I think he's had shell shocks because he's gone from like university to work from home in England. He's in the office making 50, 60 calls a day to our clients. And he's like that. Oh, this is hard, isn't it?
It's not easy being a broker. It is actually a 24/7 job. Everyone thinks it's really easy.
There's no life-work balance.
There's no life-work balance.
They're one thing, aren't they?
Yeah, it's just, and you do have to sometimes drop things for really important clients and make sure that you are available when someone calls and wants to speak to you about something and know exactly where everything is in terms of transactions so you can really keep people in the loop. So it's not an easy job. It's very rewarding when things go to plan, but obviously things don't always go to plan.
If it was easy, everyone
either.
would do it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's lots of people that try it, but what is the secret to your success and what do you think it is? Because, and again, I'll speak from the outside in. I worked with you in 2010. We've got a personal history together. We've climbed Kilimanjaro, which we'll get on to in a minute. We've done other stuff together. And I've watched you come from this girl who used to party a lot. And, you know, I used to party a lot as well. I tell everyone that I'm open about how we used to be. We used to go out and we did these things together. And I watched you go from like, yeah, you're doing well. And probably in the last 5 or 6 years, you've really, really accelerated personally and also in work. You've got a massive name in the market. What is the secret you could pass on to somebody?
Make sure that you go above and beyond for your clients because then they refer you extra business. So then you're not reliant necessarily on getting a new client come through the portals on one of your listings. You have people reaching out to you directly. So like on Sunday evening, one of my clients was at the cricket. Yeah. And he was with a friend and his friend's looking to sell his house. So he said, oh, no, you have to phone Lindsay. She deals with everything for me.
I have an idea who that boy is. Who would have referred it? Huh? Is it who we think it is that referred it to you?
No, it wasn't actually.
Oh, was it not?
No,
okay, because he's the number one referrer.
But this morning we've got a listing on the Palm and we've got 3 viewings lined up for it on Thursday.
Oh, wow.
Off the back of my client just saying, please trust Lindsay, you don't need to go to anyone else. Yeah. So that kind of referral is an amazing start for a relationship with a client.
I've got a question for you. It's a real estate question. So the listing comes on, and this is for anybody getting into real estate. I guess you put it onto the CRM at some point. You go for the format at some point. How do you generate viewings at a luxury division? Do you go to the people you work with? How do you get viewings? How do you get 3 viewings? So
I've got a very good network of agents as well, both in Allsop and externally. So if I haven't got a direct client, but it springs to mind straight away, I'll go to my network first, who I trust. And it's not necessary to like say, oh, I need an A to A before I'll give you the information. Tell them about it and see if we've got someone before even putting it onto the market. Because a lot of properties, especially in the luxury segment, haven't been listed online. Yeah. It's not a call from Property Finder where the clients come through. So a lot of the deals that happen are off-market deals as well. So I phoned around my network this morning and we've got 3 viewings, 2 from Allsop and 1 from
That's all
external.
I want to hear. I was just guiding you to make sure. Better be Allsop and Allsop viewings.
Yeah.
But yeah, the luxury segment, I'm just going to touch on that very quickly. Obviously, our paths crossed in 2010, went on for many years, and I approached you about It's about 8 months ago, 6 months ago.
Last time you approached me, or this
recently.
Recently. You know what? It was when the rains were last year, because it took me 3 hours to get back from a meeting.
It's raining today, by the way. Every time you come here, it rains. And I remember speaking to you at the time, and obviously Charlie King really does a lot of the luxury segment of the market. And I started to analyse the data, and I was like, wow, like, I know there's some good UK companies here that are doing quite well, but we have like market dominance in most areas that we work in. And I started to see that we were starting to really hone in on this marketplace of luxury. So obviously we opened the private office. The purpose of the private office is $10 million plus listings we're looking at getting into, and going down a different way of marketing, whether that is partnership agreements with luxury other companies that you might see me working and talking with, like Harper's Bazaar. We're talking with Laura Piana at the moment. We're talking with business structure companies for other business celebrity contacts, and we're working in this division at the moment where we're bringing ultra high net worth individuals to the business. And we're actually breaking the record at the moment for the most amount of $10 million properties we've ever sold from opening the private office. My question I've got to you is the luxury division quite a niche market? Can anybody do it? Or is it you've got to be what do you think about it?
I think that whenever someone moves to Dubai, they want the golden ticket. They want to come in and they want to be dealing with the $10 million plus range straight away. I think that client expectations here now are very high. Yeah. And they want someone who really knows what they're talking about and can advise them rather than just sell something to them and turn around and say, this isn't a good investment strategy and this is why, and have the knowledge to be able to do it. So I think anyone can do it.
But you need the knowledge to back to close the deal. But you need the knowledge
to catch to close the deal. To close the deal. Not saying that it's impossible, because there are some people who come into the market and meet someone who, and in Dubai you can meet one client who can really change your life in terms of how much business they can bring you. But on the whole, I would say it's easier to start into the luxury sector once you've got a good market knowledge and an established name where people trust you as well. So other agents will work with you, give you their villa numbers. Yeah. Like I've got agents, if they're on holiday, they'll give me their clients to take out and have no
but do you know why that is as well? When you deal in the luxury market generally, and I look at the people that we've got in our books, we've got like 5 or 6 advisors there. All of these people own homes, they're investing, they've got capital, they're not chasing, trying to pay their bills. So when you've not got that mindset, you're not worried about snatching commission off somebody. There's a long-term gain for the people that you're working with.
Yeah, but also, like for me, if I've got a client who's got a 1-bed in their portfolio that they want to sell, if it's 2 million dirhams, I'll still help them with that, and they'll still get the same level of service. So it continues bringing the clients through. But yeah, I agree with you. I think at the beginning, and I was the same, I had no money when I moved here. None. I had a credit card, and
you were good on that credit card.
I was good on that credit card. But I had no money, so I was living month to month on the commissions that I earned. Life becomes infinitely easier, of course, if you're a bit more stable, because then you're not feeling desperate for closing the deal. You can really work and advise and help the client without pushing them into trying to close the deal. Whereas we buy as well, and I've had agents, and they're so pushy, and it just makes me not want
off-putting, isn't it?
It makes me not want to work with them.
You just
at
like
all.
fuck off, like get away from me.
Yeah, because they're just almost so desperate to close the deal.
And the people that have got money, and I think this is the message for any agent: if you have money and you have money because you're quite clever, like you can't outsmart somebody that's worth 100 million or £1 billion because they got there for a reason. So trying these techniques and not using empathy. For me, the one thing I've learned, and probably you've learned over time, is understanding what makes someone tick personally. And when you're speaking to a billionaire or a millionaire, treating them normal and giving them follow-up and actually caring for the conversation rather than going, you must close today. You must, if you don't do it, you will lose the listing. You're like, I don't give a shit, mate. You're not pressing me.
But then if there's a launch coming up and my client wants it, I will have to say to them, if you want it, we're going to have to move on it prior to launch, because projects are selling out pretty quickly.
What's your best project right now you like?
My favourite project.
But it's got to be launch project.
It's launch.
Okay.
Is Yomi on the Palm.
Okay.
24 villas.
Okay.
Absolutely unbelievable. It's something that you haven't seen in Dubai before. They've got 24 villas and a clubhouse. Super luxury. Starting price is about 130 million.
Where is it? On the Crescent?
It's on the Crescent, right next to Six Senses.
Oh, wow.
Their show villa is just ready, so you can actually go see, feel, touch.
What is it, like a modern travertine brick? What?
It's quite mixed. Like they've done it really nicely because it's not like every bathroom's the same. They've got lots of colours, lots of texture, but it's still very classy and neutral throughout. Okay. And they actually they've got 3 villas left out of the 24. And they have not had an ounce of advertising. So you will not find anything online about it.
I always get my hair cut at the Atlantis Royal. I always do it because I just like to go there. I've met the CEO of Atlantis there. I've met really high-profile people in there. And I was there getting my hair cut last week. I know this guy there. He's very wealthy from the UK. Lives. I'm not going to tell you where he lives because I don't want to give the profile away. Hello, mate. You're a camera channel. Yeah. Are you investing? I started talking about the palm oil. He goes, yeah, I've just bought there. He owe me. I went, ah. And as a broker, how horrible is it when you work out, right, I could have made £1 million from this deal and it could have just been me. And I was like, get him a haircut, smiling, well, that's a great investment in that horrible feeling, but also nice that they've bought a house.
But yeah, it's an unbelievable development. And I think if you're buying a luxury villa, not having it online and plastered everywhere is really nice for the future homeowners who are going to be moving in there as well. I
think that the trade-off is, we've had this conversation, this is the luxury real estate conversation, is me and you have quite contrasting ways of working, and that clash sort of works into both of our favours of trying to get the both best worlds, because you like fully off market. I like to expose a listing to the point of brilliance. And what I mean by that is I think that if you have the listing online of 300 million, you've got one at the moment. I'd say where it is or not?
Yeah, you can say where it is.
So we've got the Jumeirah Bay one. You've sent me...
But it's at 400, not 300.
Sorry, 400 million. The one in Jumeirah Bay that you've got is 400 million. It's the best villa I've ever seen. Hands down, it is. If you were looking for it's an A1, best villa, basement, on the sea, places to hold your cards, the best gym I've seen in a house. Like, it's the best thing I've ever seen. And if that went online...
Get your checkbook out.
I do not have 400 million, but there's going to be someone there that's going to go, I want the best house in Dubai. This house will categorically be better than Ronaldo's house that's in that same development or same location.
Without a doubt. But there's 2 sides to that coin, because if I was spending 400 million, which I don't have to spend, I wouldn't want to buy a house that everyone has seen the inside. I'd prefer something which only people have viewed the house who are kind of fully vetted. Profiled and vetted, because I wouldn't want people to have pictures of the inside of my house online.
Very true.
But the way to get it out there isn't just with my network, because obviously my network is good, but it's not everyone. It's working with brokers and having those brokers connect you to other brokers.
Correct.
Having contacts within like the luxury, different luxury fields. Like we're presenting it in Monaco next week for a VIP.
Are you going to Monaco?
No, you wouldn't pay my flight.
I'd pay for your flight. If you want to go to Monaco, but I've got to come with you.
Fair.
Just letting you know.
Fair.
I'm just working this out. I'm sure this is the same time that the F1's on. Just letting you know.
But we're doing a presentation for around 20 high net worth individuals in Monaco at the end of the month. Yeah. So we are giving the property exposure without it having full exposure, like being on Instagram or Facebook. Yeah. But then there's another listing on Jumeirah Bay at the moment with another brokerage, and they've got theirs online. Yeah. And they're getting a lot of leads from their one online, and they said it's great that yours isn't online because we're getting all the leads, and then we can come to you and still show your villa. But by having your network and going out to the various different, not just big agents, but small agents, not just big brands, but like one-man shops who often have very, very high net worth clients, you can still give it exposure without giving it exposure. Oh, definitely.
I just like putting listings on for lead gen. I just think as a real estate broker, so for instance, the private office is a separate division to also real estate. We target around 1,000 new listings a month. So Mark and Dan, the revenue directors, have goals to get this on. I know if we get that on, I can basically work how many buyers we're going to generate, and then we'll push them on to another project once we know that they're interested. So, yeah, it's a tough one. But when I come into this luxury segment with you and Charlie and the team, I have to swallow the pill a little bit. The private office is a different way of working. And listen, whatever we're doing is working.
Please don't give me listing targets.
No, you definitely get buyers targets. So obviously opening the private office, you coming into, you coming to work for Allsop and Allsop in our statement piece division. What was your reasoning to go, let's have a go at this?
So there were a couple of reasons. Obviously I know that you and Carl don't like failing at things. Yeah. So I know that you're going to give all the tools that are needed to make the division a success. I think working for part of a big team also has some really big advantages. Like, for example, if I've got a smaller listing
Yeah.
that I may not have the clientele for, but I still want to service my client, I can go to the full network of Allsop and have buyers ready on hand, ready to go round these properties. We've sold 2 like that since I've joined.
So we do 2,000 viewings a week at the moment. 2,000 viewings.
God.
Mental.
I don't think I do that in a year.
No, you don't need to. You do one-on-one deal. I'm cool with that.
Oh no, I do keep busy though.
No, I know you do. We very rarely speak unless we're on podcasts or WhatsApp. Asking you why, the reason you would come back to Allsop, and also you just said you love me, basically.
Yeah, it's just because I love you.
I think that the strength, genuinely, from my point of view, when I did the pitch to you about the private office, is we have an invaluable amount of data. People that are landlords, people that are tenants, people that are buyers of 16 years deep, and someone that owns a 1-bed in the Springs, for example, a 2-bed in the Springs, might just be part of their portfolio. And I've seen that a lot of the time. People have this massive portfolio of properties that they use for revenue. We just want to plug in who are the luxury clientele to pull back into. And what I've seen since we've said we are the luxury segment, we're finding a lot more luxury clients come to the market.
But I think also it's important to know that like every client, whether they're buying something small or big, it's a big part of their income, and you never know who they can introduce you to.
Yeah.
So like my biggest client came from when I was doing rentals.
Yeah.
And then he started buying, and then he's very well connected and started introducing me to people. And because I gave him a really good service when I was renting out his 2-bedroom in the Springs for 75,000 and earning 3,000 dirham and like running around in 50-degree heat to get it done, he's always thought, I'll pass you anyone that I want. So you can open a lot of doors just from more entry-level properties as well to the luxury segment.
I've got a property in Andalus. It's 140,000 rent or whatever it is at the moment. If someone calls me and doesn't know who I am, they're like, oh, he just owns a 2-bed in. But that's not actually true. Like, I've got lots of other investments at the luxury segment. So it's so important to have that in your armour, and I think that's where I think the private office strength for me is going to be all our partnerships, whether that is brands that we're working with. I think we're speaking to Unas at the moment. I said about Laura Piana, Harper's Bazaar, we're in there at the moment. We've got luxury partnerships for people that were Patek Philippe and these amazing brands that are lead genning for us. We're going down a very, very different angle of the luxury. I don't class us as rah-rah. We are quite a modern luxury division.
And I think like people, if they've got real money, they don't look on Property Finder, so you're not going to get a lead from property. Very rarely, very rarely get a lead at the higher end of the market. So it's having all these different avenues,
really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think that's quite a big thing. I remember working with an agent years ago, and she said to me, I'm a buyer's agent. You said the same thing, I'm a buyer's agent. And I get it. What you want is someone to call you and go, you are the girl, the woman now, sorry, not the girl. The woman, I know you have black book properties and contacts. I've got this to spend. I want this. Go and get it for me. And then you go out to market and get it.
Yeah, and I think that if buyers trust you, it's it makes the job a lot easier because they almost become friends as well.
Exactly.
Like, we had clients at our wedding, everything, because
they bought a property from me.
Because they've become friends over the years.
Exactly.
Like when they come here on holiday, we'll go for lunch with them. Like it's not just a transaction.
Yeah.
And it's advice as well. Like if they wanna think about exiting or different strategy, it's having someone who can give them the advice to be able to assist them with it as well.
I agree. Relationships is everything. It's the same reason I convinced you to come to our startup. You know, you trust me, I trust you, and it becomes something else. So 2025 for Dubai. Mm-hmm. Where do you see the luxury segment? Because from your opinion, is it expensive compared to worldwide? Where are we at?
So although the prices have gone up quite considerably in the last 5 years, I think if we look at it compared to other major cities, it is actually still relatively affordable for what you're getting for your money. So yes, it is expensive, but I do feel there's still room for growth. I'm actually hoping the market doesn't increase quite as much as last year because we want the market to be much more stable and not have people.
20%, by the way, Lindsay. 20%.
Yeah.
Mad. I didn't even know that. I seen it on one of our market reports, and I was like, has it gone up that much? Because it's going to get a point, and we're not at that point yet, where you're going, wow, I could put my money into New York or London, and I'm at that level. I was looking at the branded Six Senses residences. So they've got one in London in...
Whiteley's.
Yeah, the Whiteley's.
Queensway.
I mean, if anyone trying to describe the building to you it's completely remodeled, historical building. I think it's an ex-mall, if I'm not mistaken. And I actually went to the development because I was looking at buying there. And I went to it. The whole development needs redevelopment because there's lots of shops there at the moment that are not quite in fitting with the brand.
There's a really good Chinese restaurant on Queensway.
What's it called? Shout it out.
Mandarin Kitchen.
Up the Mandarin Kitchen.
Absolutely
Get yourself
amazing.
down there.
You have to go there next time you're in London.
I will. Hopefully our followers will get on it as well. Anyway, so I went there and I looked at it and I thought, wow, this development's amazing. I really liked it. But the 3 beds that I was looking at, 'cause I've got 2 kids, I think it was like £9 million.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. So in Dubai, you can buy Atlantis Royal on the beach with Nobu and everything attached to it, see everything there. You could probably buy them for £7 million, a 3-bed.
But also, I think a big feature that makes Dubai more attractive is having the fact that you've got no capital gains when you sell.
It's massive.
On your rental income. Your acquisition costs are quite small, actually, because you only have a 4% land department registration fee.
It's like 12% if you're at that level, isn't it? It's a bit crazy.
And the safety, the lifestyle of Dubai is very, very different to London. Like in London, you can't wear a nice watch or jewellery or anything like that. And I left my handbag at the end of my mum's driveway when I was back and I forgot something, ran in. She was like, what are you doing? And she lives in the suburbs.
Georgia leaves the door unlocked. She leaves the car unlocked. I'm like, what are you doing? What world are you on? But you become soft in Dubai, don't you?
Whereas here, you can leave your car running outside.
Yeah, you chuck the keys to somebody like, can you just park it for me? I'm not even a valet. Just park it for us. Help us out, yeah? I think Dubai's got some years left of growth, not at 20%, but I do believe if we're getting 3 or 4% a year, I mean, that's insane, isn't it?
Really good. It's still really good. It's almost better if it slows down. But if you go back 5 years, the prices were so cheap. Like it was lower than the cost to build. So that wasn't sustainable either. So the increase, although it's been very rapid, has brought it in line with other, or below still other major cities. Below. But
people are now gasping a bit because we basically in the private office, we're selling to Premier League footballers at the moment. I think we're sold to 3 Premier League footballers at the top level, international footballers. And we've pitched them developments. And you go, oh, it's 15 million dirhams. To us, 15 million, it's 15 million, middle of the road. To most people, then it's £3.5 million. And they go, oh, that's really top level in everywhere outside of London. I think you lose sight of what the value of property is in Dubai compared to the rest of the world as well.
Oh, I think it's crazy. I remember if you did a 10 million dirham deal, that was classed as a big deal.
Yeah.
Like the biggest thing on the market used to be around 40 or 50 million. And now the fact that we're talking about 400 million dirham listings, there was one just sold in Emirates Hills at 425 million dirhams.
Wow.
A piece of the land on Jumeirah Bay yesterday transferred at 182.5 million dirhams. Wow. So I think you can lose sight of the value and how much money this is and how much money people are spending.
I will say, I do think, Linz, that Dubai's also made people wealthy. So, like, we have this bubble that we're in where, let's say we own homes. Basically, they've gone up over time. They've actually exploded. If you're making 20% on our properties, basically, your ROI on your deposit of 20% is 100% on your money. Like, we are gaining growth that no one else can get in the world at the moment with this explosive property market.
So me and my husband were looking at it the other day about what we earned, what we owned, how much equity, and that versus the deposits that we'd put down because we'll buy with mortgages or we'll buy off plan so that we can really leverage. And in some cases, we've quadrupled our money from the initial down payment in the space of 3 or 4 years.
I've got mine. So I keep my portfolio here. Mine is 258% on my money down. Yeah. And some of them are paid outright. But like if I was leveraged, it would be serious. Yeah. It would be serious money. So, you know, if you have a property in Dubai, and I'll use this as the example, and I just said before, you put 20% down, goes up 20% in 1 year, which happened last year, you make 100% on your money. I'm going to put this into an example. I've got a house in London, and I tried to sell it in the summer to get somewhere bigger, and it didn't end up happening for many reasons. One of the main reasons is they wanted me to reduce the price. I didn't want to reduce it. And I worked out if I'd sold at the price they wanted, in a 5-year period, I would have made 3% on my property value. That is wild.
But you'd have actually lost because you'd paid tax when you bought it as well.
Exactly. And then the tax to put the bins out and things like that. Yeah. I got a fine for London for not putting my bins out in the right place. They put a ticket on my house.
We've just got a rubbish chute because we're in an apartment.
Oh, wow.
That's
Okay,
really
yeah.
easy.
No, I'm in an apartment, but I've got the big black door, the black gates. Yeah. So I've got to go down and I've got to put it there. And basically, it was the rubbish day. I left it on the street and it wasn't actually rubbish day. And they actually read the ticket and say, you're Lewis Allsop from XYZ Road. And they send me a ticket. But
they also, at one point in London, were fining you if you had different bins for everything as well. Yeah. So you had to sort your rubbish and clean it before you put it in the bin, because otherwise it would be stinky, because they only collect it once a week.
What a life.
Yeah.
What a life. But no, I think Dubai's got an incredible future ahead of it. We've got a population growth expected double by 2040. One last question I've got for anybody who is in real estate or investing. And again, if you are watching this is one of the most successful people I've sat with in real estate that have worked with the company. Have you made more money in being a real estate agent or buying property?
I think if you put it over the full time I've been in Dubai, 15 years, and average out the annual real estate.
Okay.
So we buy...
But not by a lot.
But not by a lot. But for us, we're looking at our property portfolio as almost like a retirement plan.
Same. I think everybody has that.
I don't want to work for ever.
Another year. One more Jumeirah Bay and I'm out. Good luck, private office.
But we want to have a plan that we can continue having a nice lifestyle once we're not working anymore. And working in real estate does give you the ability to do it, but actually investing rather than just leaving your... Because I used to always think, like, just leave your money sat in the bank.
The worst thing you could ever do.
And it's the worst thing you can ever do, because it's actually going down in value each year as everything else appreciates. So I wish I'd I wish I'd been wiser with my money sooner than I was.
Yeah.
But now we have an aim of what we want to do each year. We just signed a contract on a new property to move to.
Bigger one, obviously, not smaller.
It is bigger. Not that much bigger.
But you're keeping your other one?
We're going to keep our other one and rent it out.
I mean, that's the key to investment.
Yeah.
No one believes me on this when I said this, but I did my net worth pie chart. I only have 3% of my net worth in cash. Everything else is in property, shares, stocks. And my honest reason is, when I'm not working, I want that working.
Yeah.
There is no purpose having money in the bank. With everything else going up in value, your pound in 10 years is probably worth 60p.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
But I also don't really understand crypto, so I don't want to...
Hype, that's what it is.
I've put a couple of $1,000 into it, and I look at it every day, and I'm like,
it's
worth lost money today.
Oh, I've lost some more.
But I don't really understand it, so property is what I understand.
Wow.
So having that, and we've done a mixed portfolio of older and new builds off plans, so that we've got a bit of variation.
I think everyone's goal when they own property is work at how much you make a month in normal life, and then have enough property to cover that amount. So when you stop working, your lifestyle doesn't stop.
You can still have a nice income.
We've got some years left, my love.
One or two.
Well, thank you very much for coming down today. I know your time is very precious for the market you're in, and I really appreciate your time. Now, if you are looking for search and acquisition or buying property in Dubai, Lindsay specifically works with buyers. She works with sellers as well, and she will hunt the super luxury market to find you your dream home or the property that is not available in the market. Reach out to Lindsay. Her details will be below. Cheers, guys.
Thank you.